It's Miss Colleen and welcome to my teacher closet. Today is a really special day for two reasons. First of all, it is Earth Day and it's a day for us to be thankful for the planet that we live on. And also, it is my grandma's 101st birthday. Yes, that's right. She is 101 years old. And we'll talk a little bit about her at the end. But I wanted to read a story today about Earth Day. And it's a story from Frog and Toad Together by Arnold Lobel. And this is a chapter book. And I'm going to read one chapter to you. And it is called The Garden. And I want you to listen for the differences between Frog and Toad and how they do things a little bit different. And then we'll talk about that at the end. Okay, here we go. Frog was in his garden. Toad came walking by. "What a fine garden you have, Frog," he said. "Yes," said Frog. "It's very nice, but it was hard work." "I wish I had a garden," said Toad. "Here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground," said Frog, "and soon you will have a garden." "How soon?" asked Toad. "Quite soon," said Frog. Do you know which one is Frog and which one is Toad? What do you think? So Toad was the one walking up to the garden, and Frog is the one who planted the garden. Toad ran home. He planted the flower seeds. "Now, seeds," said Toad, "start growing." Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not start growing. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, "Now, seeds, start growing." Toad looked at the ground again, and the seeds did not start growing. Think about how Toad is acting. Maybe he just doesn't know much about plants. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, "Now, seeds, start growing!" Frog came running up the path. "What's all this noise?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You're shouting too much," said Frog. "These poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" asked Toad. "Of course," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow." So Frog was telling Toad, be patient. That night, Toad looked out the window. "Drat," said Toad. "My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." Toad went out to his garden with some candles. "I will read the seeds a story," said Toad. "Then they will not be afraid." Toad read a long story to the seeds. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds. And the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Toad looked at the ground, and the seeds still did not start to grow. "What should I do?" cried Toad. "These must be the most frightened seeds in all the world." Then Toad felt very tired, and he fell asleep. Toad, Toad, wake up, Frog said. Look at your garden. Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming up out of the ground. Oh, at last, shouted Toad. My seeds have stopped being afraid to grow. And now you will have a nice garden, too, said Frog. Yes, said Toad, but you were right, Frog. It was very hard work. So, what was different about Frog and Toad? Frog had some experience with planting a garden, and he knew it would take some work and some time. And Toad didn't have any experience, and he wanted the seeds to grow just like that. Have you ever grown a seed before? That would be something really neat to try, to get a couple of seeds and get some dirt and put them in a cup and water them a little bit, put them in the sun, and when the soil gets dry, water it again. Just be careful not to overwater it. You could sing to your plant, you could read a story, you could play music for it, just like Toad did, and pretty soon you will have a plant too. That would be something really fun to do. All right, so I told you it's Earth Day, so we're planting some seeds, but it's also my grandma's birthday. So I wanted to show you a picture of her. There she is. That's when I was about 1. And back then, we didn't have cell phones to take pictures on and save them. We had to take them in a camera, click, and then take the film to the store to have them develop it. And then we would get these hard copies. But here's a picture of her from last year at her birthday party when she was 100. And I think she looks just as good when she was this age as she does when she's that age. And I wanted to give her a shout out because her neighbor across the hall from her apartment, yeah, she lives in her own apartment. She's pretty cool. And she takes care of herself, cooks her own meals. She goes shopping at Walmart. A friend drives her there. Thank you, Renata. And I wanted to show you my card that I made her. Happy birthday, Grandma. And these are all the candles that are 101 candles. Would you like to count them with me? We're going to count by 5s. So we're going to skip count by 5s because 100's pretty far away. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, and 1 years old. Grandma, I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday, and Josh and I love you very much, and I hope you have a very special day and get to spend some time out in the nice weather enjoying the planet that we were given. So happy birthday. And to all my other friends out there, you know that every day is a new adventure, and I'm sure my grandma would tell you that after 100 years, she's had many adventures, and you have lots of adventures waiting for you as well. Well, we will see you again from my teacher's closet. Have a great day.